Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Inept General, and it's been a while, but we finally have some more Total War Warhammer 2 news. Now, the Creative Assembly put out a blog on everything all their teams are doing, and we know that the Three Kingdoms is coming out later on this year. We know Britannia is coming out later on this year, but the one thing we hadn't heard of for a little while was what's going on with Total War Warhammer 2 DLC. Perhaps we were a little bit spoiled with the first game, but DLC seems to have slowed greatly in the second game. Hopefully it'll pick up for Game 3 because they've just been working on a lot of the historical stuff recently. But anyway, let's get on with the news without further ado. So let's just skip ahead to what Creative Assembly put out there about Total War Warhammer 2. Now, we can kind of skip all this, but the important bit relates to the bit at the end. We know that NORSCA has been delayed till May, but now what we know is that we will not get a DLC until May as well. Now, if like me, many of you thought that we'd get the DLC beforehand, we'd get a chance to sort of have a look at it, and then NORSCA would come out in May, that is not the case. The NORSCA, the DLC, the Regiments of Renown for the 30th anniversary celebration thing for the DLC races, all out at the same time in May. Nothing before then, unfortunately. And we've also had confirmed that the next DLC pack will be a Lord's DLC pack. And they say it'll be in a similar vein to the King and the Warlord. And I take from that they mean it'll be two factions vying against each other. Now, that is fair enough. That's good. That's kind of what we expected to happen. We didn't think it would be back-to-back race packs. Now, going on Creative Assembly's previous modus operandi, as it were, it looks like the next pack will be a Dark Elf and High Elf race pack. Now, I say that because if we have a look at the 3LC calendar, we see that the next 3LC Lord looks like it's going to be a Lizardman Legendary Lord. Now, we can't speculate on who this Lizardman Legendary Lord might be. I think the front runners are probably Lord Croak, the first Slan Mage Priest, died unfortunately in the initial invasion of Chaos some 5,000 years before the current Total War Warhammer timeline, but he was so powerful in the ways of magic that it said he could kind of tear the earth apart, cause earthquakes, move tectonic plates, but he unfortunately got killed by Chaos, but they mummified his body, and his spirit managed to sort of live around him and can still kind of function to a certain degree. Now, he can't really communicate with anyone, and so on the tabletop, he's not technically a general, which is why I think it might go against him. But if you'd like to know about Lord Croak or any of the other ones I'm about to mention, do check out my video on potential legendary lords for the Lizardmen, popping up in the top right-hand corner now. You can give that one a look, guys. But the next guy up, I think, might be Gorakh, the one-man wrecking ball, the albino, I want to say assassin, but he's not really an assassin. He doesn't have that kind of degree of subtlety. But that's him, Gorakh. Now, Gorakh, I think, is a huge guy. I think it would be great to have him. He'd be an on-foot legendary lord, no mount for him. Now, we have kind of croak as a fighting legendary lord, so they might veer away from that, but then I suppose we have Mazdamundi as a magical legendary lord. The other guy, a bit of an outside contender, I think, is Teto Echo. I think he's an astromancer. I can't quite remember. It's an astro something, and his ability is he can kind of predict the future. He can use the lore of heavens and kind of see into the future a little bit, and the Slan Mage Priests are so impressed by this little Slan's magical ability, they've given him a palanquin to ride around in all of his own, and so that's him on his like little palanquin going around the Warhammer world predicting the future. Now, I've gone into a bit more in depth in the video I mentioned before. There'll be a link down in the description below if you guys want to check that out. Now, I know if I don't mention this, guys, you guys will bring it up in the comments below, but there's also a very famous legendary lord for the Lizardmen known as the Prophet of Sotek. Now, the only reason I don't mention him in this list is because I think he'll be part of the next Lord pack with the Skaven versus the Lizardmen. So that's why I'm not included him in this list here. Anyway, now because it's a Lizardman 3LC Legendary Lord we're going to get with the next pack in May, that leads me to believe that they won't double up on him and it will be a Dark Elf versus High Elf faction, because they're the pair that naturally match up against each other, much like the Skaven and the Lizardmen match up against each other in the lore. Long-term followers of my channel will know that I, for a long time, have been speculating that it will be the Hag and the Queen, or the Queen and the Hag, something along those lines, and the two legendary lords we're going to get are Alariel and Helbron. Now, I've recently recently done 2 lore videos on these guys. Do check them out, popping up in the top right hand corner now, or as previously, you'll find the link in the description below. They're both fascinating women, a lot of story behind both of them, and it'd be great to see them. Now, they don't really have a huge rivalry with each other, and that's maybe why some people have suggested that it might be Helbron along with Alif Anar. Now, Alif Anar is the Shadow King. That's a huge possibility. It might be him. Alif Anar, if you've seen my recent... actually, I won't put any spoilers in, but Alif Anar plays a significant role in Helbron's life. Now, they could face off against each other lore-wise. That maybe makes a bit more sense. But I just think thematically, the 2 ladies leading off against each other in the Lord Pack might be what Creative Assembly go for, rather than necessarily sticking sort of straight to lore reasons why they need to go against each other in a DLC pack. So I think it'll be Alarielle and Helbron. I would love to hear your guys' theories if you think something different. But I think that will be the pack with the Handmaid. With the Alarielle, we'll get the Handmaidens, which are a unit of High Elves. And we'll get the kind of her arch unit, the Sisters of Avalorn, I think it is. And with Helbron, I think we'll get Medusas and stuff like that. I think it'll be a very heavily female-themed pack, this one coming up. I may be wrong, but that's just my theory out there. But anyway, guys, that's about it from me. As I said, really, we're just looking at May and nothing else till then, unfortunately, guys. But at least we've had an update and we know what's going on. As always, guys, huge thank you all for listening, and I hope to catch you all on the next one. All right, guys, bye.